Vibrating toy again, just for everybody.
In case anyone wonders, I must have gone.
Of course it is.
Turned from
Of course
14 to
it is.
14.
Whatever keeps you happy at night, my friend. That's fine. Just
Why I smile.
it's not even 8:30 yet. Right, let's move on very quickly before Dan gets ruder. Right, so we need to talk about Calvin Phillips. So there's been so much speculation about this lad. I'm feeling a bit sorry for him now. It's getting a bit silly. This documentary looks good, by the way. I'm really looking forward. I'm surprised City have sanctioned something like that. But actually, normal City players, they come in, have a bit of a slow and steady start, and then they really ramp up, don't they? And so I'm looking forward to see what Phillips can do this season. And I'm just hoping he gets the opportunity. What's your thoughts, Dave?
I like Leeds fans. I think we've always had a good relationship with them. Like all the times I went to watch them, at Main Road, in the North Stand, they would be there, and no real animosity. I think Leeds fans now are very appreciative of Calvin Phillips. I think they like him, and they've told us City fans as well that you're getting a player here. Like, didn't they call him the Yorkshire Perlo or something? Like he. I think Leeds fans, who I've got a lot of respect for, said you've got a good buy there, and I don't think it worked out for him at City the first season, but did it for Grealish, did it for a variety of players at City who are now some of the best in the world. You've got to give him an opportunity, because as you said, Tom, we trust Pep. Pep doesn't like someone, he's going to go, yeah, all right, then you can go out on loan, go to Girona for a year, and then we'll take it from there. He's not done that with Phillips. He's given an opportunity, and it's second season, isn't it? I think Phillips will be decent cover for us in this is, as I said to you before on the page, 7 competitions we're in. 7. We need Phillips. We need Kovacic. We need all these players that we're kind of thinking, oh, should we get rid of? Should we loan them out? No, we don't want any of them to go, because with 7 competitions, we need every one of them. Yeah,
we've not got a massive squad really of players. When you look at it, it's an absolute myth that people says we've got a huge squad. Granted, yeah, we've got a squad, but not all of them are first team regulars, are they? So let's be realistic about where we are with that. And we got some fantastic players. Just a quick hello to Liam Costello and Tom Young. Hope you're doing well, lads. It's been ages since we spoke to you.
Tom Young.
Yeah, hope you're doing well, my friend.
Our own City boy in situ. He's now a member of the Man City media, isn't he?
Good lad. That's what I like to see.
Well done, lad. Well done.
That's what working for Manchester is Blue can do for you guys. You see, one day you work hard enough. I hope so. We do well.
Did anyone recognise you? Did anyone recognise you, Tom, in Istanbul?
Yes. Navidad Street.
I got a couple of times saying, "You're City Dave, aren't you?" Like. How do you know
Bizarre.
that? Bizarre. For 13 million people, how do you know that?
I tell you what, it's not a good thing when you're half cut either, walking down a street full of people. Tom! What have I done? You forget you do this sometimes.
Yeah.
Bizarre, really bizarre. But listen, Phillips needs a fighting chance, needs an opportunity.
I agree.
Don't like the idea of selling him. Really looking forward to this documentary. Is this documentary done by City, by the way, or is it outside of thing? Because I can't imagine City personally doing something like this. But
they've approved it, haven't they?
Yeah.
I know City have approved the documentary, but I don't know who's produced it.
Yeah, either way, I'll try and get some more information about that. We'll share it on the page that comes out. But moving on from Phillips, we talked a bit about Gundogan leaving. What's everyone's thought about captaincy? And obviously it's down to the players. The players all get a vote, and they'll vote every season that comes in for this. Gundogan's got this. The obvious players to me is the Kevin De Bruyne's, but I just think Ruben Diaz. I think Ruben Diaz is going to be the next captain. What do you guys think? You're both nodding, so I'm assuming that's a.
Me and Dan have agreed on everything today. This is quite a turn up. I don't like the fact that we have 4 or 5 captains. I think it should be one person who you look up to, and I get it when they're injured, it needs to be someone else. I've never been a big fan of this, of having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It needs to be someone who the whole squad can look up to and go to advice, like Company. We didn't have Company, Silva, Aguero, whoever else. I would never want De Bruyne because he is the most hot-headed player. I mean, his head looks like it's going to explode sometimes when he's playing, and you don't want that. You need a cool, calm head, and for me, that's what Company was and why he was so successful as a leader, and that's what I see in Diaz, and that's what I see in Rodri. I would have Diaz as captain, and I would have Rodri because they're going to be there as well, right, for the next hopefully 5 to 10 years. So have some stability.
Yeah, and it makes absolute sense. We've seen how well we have played as a club and a team since Diaz has come back this season just gone. It makes absolute sense. I can't think of anyone else I'd really want. Like I say, De Bruyne's obviously always there, but that's more because he's a senior player and he's bloody brilliant, I think, more than absolutely anything. Is anyone else, the outsiders for you, that could potentially be captaincy?
I'm gonna throw a different one at you because I thought he was phenomenal last season. Akanji.
Do you know what? No, I didn't even think of him.
He is for 15 million. What were Dortmund thinking? He is some player, and he didn't put a foot wrong, and you can see that the other players have a lot of trust in him, and that's the thing about a captain or a leader. You've got to be able to trust them, and I saw that with Akanji last season, that he came in, and I think every player at City after 2 games was like, bloody hell, like where did he come from? He's just phenomenal. Play multiple positions, doesn't let you down. So it's an outside one, Dan. It's going to be Diaz or Rodri or KDB. It's like an outside chance, just like outside bet at 50 to 1. I'd kind of throw a Akanji in there.
Question for you: what about Johnny Stones? Johnny Stones.
See, as you know, Tom, like I'm over in the States now, so I mean, I wish I was at the games every week. It appeared to me in Istanbul, with 20,000 City fans,
no,
that
Tom,
John
like
Stones is the most popular player with fans. Haaland's something, right? But the games, I just got this feeling, this vibe when I was there that like, John Stones is just like on a different level with the City fans about how they adore him. He just
it's ridiculous.
He's godlike.
I heard his name sang more in that 24-48 hour period before and after the game more than any City player I've ever heard. I think it's just a brilliant song as well, to be fair, but every bar, pub, winery, kebab shop, whatever it was after that game and before that game I heard his name ringing the streets. It was fantastic. It was brilliant, and long may it continue. I still think we'd sing it when he leaves as well. How old is John Stones?
29.
Oh, amazing. So we got him for a couple more years, haven't we? He's not going anywhere.
No, he is. He's only going to get better as well. And from my perspective, you're talking about international level, I'd be building the team around John Stones.
Interesting.
I really would.
Interestingly, though, we nenever thought about him as captain's material either. That's interesting. That it was always Diaz, wasn't it, straight away? But I never ever thought about John Stones as being a captain. I'd very much like to see what he's like. He's a bit of a laugh and a joker in the changing room, isn't he, as well? He does like a laugh and a dance, which is nothing wrong with that. But
Good mates with Walker, yeah. Mm-hmm.
There were some songs about Kyle Walker being sang as well, which I definitely will not repeat on this. No. Maybe the late night version if we do one.
Yeah, will be interesting. I think it's going to be the whole vote thing again, and there's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's just we trust Pep, but it's not for me. I would like one captain who knows that's who you go to.
Yeah.
That's when you've got any issues as a player, when you're looking for someone on the field to calm things down. That's you go to Diaz or you go to Rodri. And the reason I say that about Kevin De Bruyne as well is he's so good. I don't want him focusing on leading the other 10 players. He's that good. Just focus on your game. Because you're so good, just focus on the right pass. Focus on scoring.
Yeah.
That's what De Bruyne is good at.
Yeah, can't disagree with that at all. And I'm looking forward to seeing what De Bruyne is going to do this season. He's kind of done everything with City now, so it's kind of like we need him to take. I almost want him to take that next step. Now he's won the Champions League with us, and by the way, he must have been gutted on the Champions League final again. When that happened again, I looked at my brother, I was talking to my nephew. I was like, "Oh, here we go. This is not happening again, is it?" But I feel
that was the thing. We didn't know what was happening either, did we? In the stands, we were like, "What's going on? Is this a is this a tactical change or or what? Because we were so far away because of the bloody racetrack around the pitch. Everyone was a bit. It's as you said. This is deja vu. Is he hurt? Is it tactical? What's going on? Because he wasn't having a great game, and I don't think any of us were aware that he'd been struggling for 3 months with a hamstring. So for him to even get on the pitch in Istanbul was something. But I mean, he didn't have a great game, did he? We started playing actually a lot better when Foden came on for him.
Yeah, he's right.
He should have scored, by the way. He did all the hard work, and then he passed it to the keeper.
Can't believe he didn't score that. I'm gonna have I can't believe he reminded me of that. Oh, anyway, can we move on?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Kevin De Bruyne's 32, so he's just had his 32nd birthday. He's got what, 2 seasons left? How long has he got left in his contract?
Yeah.
He's got 2 years left in his contract. So,
well,
what can he do in the next 2 years?
Surely one of his jobs now is, as Dan was saying before about Grealish, or even if it's Foden or whatever, start taking Grealish and Foden aside in training and saying, this is how you play my position, because De Bruyne isn't going to play 50 games next season. He just isn't, injury-wise or rest-wise or whatever. So you're going to need a younger player. You're going to need a Foden, a Grealish, a Bernardo Silva who understands that role of what to do. So I think it's time De Bruyne now is start beginning to put his arm around some of these players in training and going, look, this is what I do and this is why I did it.
Are you ready for a hospital pass question? If
Go for it.
somebody offered you 150 million for him, what would you do with 2 years left in his
take it.
contract?
For 150, I think I'd take it.
What, for Kevin De Bruyne?
Hmm?
Yeah, for 150?
Minimum 75 mil, I'd happy to take.
I don't think that's enough. I think anything less than 100, because I'm thinking of 2 years left in his contract. If we can get him down to a year left and then sell him for 100, I think we've done well. I want him to stay on longer and kind of move into some kind of coaching role eventually, because he is that type of player, that type of mentality. I can see him going into some kind of coaching position afterwards, so I'd love that to be at City. I think for what Dave says, the value he can bring to the juniors and the players around him to build up what we've got already, I think that's priceless. I think that's absolutely priceless. I think Jack Grealish needs to stick to him like glue and just see exactly how to move, how to pass. It's just a shame David Silva's not here as well. We could bring him back on him. Can we wheel him back as a coach, please?
There's another one. I don't think he'll play for Real Sociedad past this season. He does have a love affair with City. David Silva. I know he loves living in Tenerife, but my God, that would be another one. I would love to get back in a coaching capacity at City. For me, as you know, is my favourite part. I think he's the best player City have ever had. I honestly believe that. I'd love him at City in some capacity.
David Silva and Zabaleta in a coaching capacity. Oh, yes, please.
Don't forget Martin Petrov.
Martin Petrov. Oh, obviously, yeah. He's Martin Petrov's there. Martin Petrov's cleaning the boots somewhere.
We're talking about best players to ever play for City. Martin Petrov. Come on, don't leave him out.
The love affair continues for another season.
Yep. What can I say? He was a great winger. We should have had.
I did enjoy Martin Petrov. I got to say, he's left wing, wasn't he? Left wing? Yeah. Did you get a signed thing for Martin Petrov recently? Last year, the year before. Did you get something signed from Martin Petrov? Or did I make that up?
No, yeah. It was. I was going through. Well, I was going through a bad patch. I'm not afraid to admit it. Hopefully, any Blues out there, I was down in the dumps. I've suffered from depression for many years, and Dave, God bless him, cheered me up. He surprised me by talking to my brother, getting my house address, and he got me a signed picture of Martin Petrov and sent it to my house.
Lovely.
So that's the kind of man Blues that City
Dave Roberts. That's really nice.
And I've always said to him, I've always appreciated that 100%
absolutely.
every time.
Well, he's 44. He could do a job for us still, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, he keeps himself
He's got
fit.
one gut on him. Oh no, he's got one gut on him now.
He's retired. What a shame. Anyway, he still says his market value 12 million quid on transfer market. That can't be right. Can't be right, can it?
22 mil.
Obviously, at least. And I think that's pretty much where we're wrapping up to, guys. Is there anything that you want to talk about? And yeah, Dave said we got 7 trophies to play for this year.
7. I guess my last thing is
7
we were having
trophies.
this the one player that we haven't talked about a little bit is Harwood Bellis, and as you know, we had a little bit of a chat about this with Mr. Dan Halifax earlier this week, and so I'd love to know what All Blues think as well. Final year of his contract, captain of England under-21s. He had a phenomenal tournament. You know, to go through a tournament, I know it's under-21s, but that's still phenomenal players without conceding a goal is ridiculous. Halifax feels that we should cash in on him. 15 million, go to West Ham or Fulham. I'm more on the fence. I would prefer to loan him out, and potentially I would love him to go back to Burnley again, because I'm sure company must want him. I'm just loath to sell him. I think we might regret it, but I understand we got this plethora of centre backs, and is he going to get game time? But I just think we'll regret something like 15 million. You know, they'll sign, and then he'll have a great season at West Ham or Fulham, and then he goes for 60 million to PSG or Newcastle or something like that. You know what I mean? I'm just.
Oh, how do I feel about this? Right, so my head tells me, and I think I said this to you, I don't think I'll ever see him in a City shirt ever again.
Yeah.
My heart tells me, do you know what? Keep him, loan him ideally to a Premier League club, Vincent Kompany, give him another 12 months, see what he's like there, with an opportunity to actually, if we have seen a stage on stage, because he's a captain, he's a champion now with under-21s. He's obviously a leader within that. That gives a natural born spirit to any player, and if it depends what he wants to do. Listen, this is. I think there's a lot of it down in his court as well. What does he want? Does he want to stay and fight? Does he want to play and go for loans? I would love to see him play as a City shirt, because he's got the heart and soul of a Blue. He's a defending Paul bloody hell. He's a defending Phil Foden, isn't he? He's got the heart of a City fan, everything behind it, and he's a captain material. And he's English, and he's from Stockport. That's a really hard question, isn't it, to answer? What do you reckon, Dan?
Really tough one.
I'm gonna throw the ball out the court here and say it's the easiest question you could have asked me on the night. Heart and brain, selling for 15 mil. He will never play for City in a first team Premier League match consistently. I just don't think he's there. Great player, a bit like Cole Palmer, great player. But if he was to get a move to like a West Ham will be European football contenders every season he's there, in my view. He could easily, he's like John Stones for Dave. You build a team around him. He's that sort of player, but I do not think he's a top 6 club player.
Well, put it this way: you replace him. You look at our team as it stands now. He wouldn't get in front of any of them now.
No,
would he?
Especially if we're going to bring Guardiola in.
So I think that kind of answers the question, which is a real shame. It's a shame, isn't it?
And 15 mil for an academy.
I don't think 15's enough. I don't think 15's enough. How much do we sell the goalkeeper for? 20.
That's looking like 15, and then there's another 5 with add-ons or something like that.
Well,
so
you know, he's England captain and all the rest of it, and he's won that trophy now. It's got to be at least 20. But listen, at the end of the day, it's whatever Pep thinks and whatever Pep wants to do will happen. But I'll support his career. I'd love him to go to Burnley. I'd love him to go to West Ham. I love West Ham, and I don't know why. Why do City fans like West Ham? Why do West Ham like City fans? There's a definite mutual love there, isn't there?
Something about West Ham I like. I don't know what it is.
It could be, honestly, it could be just Ian Bishop.
Bish on Zabaleta.
That's a big connection, Bish, because he loves Blue Bish Hammer, right? Is his Twitter handle or something? Like he loves us both unconditionally. I honestly think Bishop's got a lot to do with that. Why there's this affinity between the two clubs.
That's a great shout. We had him on the podcast with his sons. Was it last season? 2 seasons ago, maybe. He's got surely he's still at his podcast. I'll get back in touch with him and see what's going on.
And he was in Istanbul. Didn't see him, but did you bump into any players, Tom, in Istanbul?
I couldn't tell you.
Because you just know, like Andy Morrison, you would have been there. Bish was there. Who else was there? Paul Dickoff. you know, all that old school guard who just absolutely loves City. I think Whitley brothers were there in some capacity. I just didn't bump into any of them, which I thought I might do. You know, as I said on the page, I bumped into Edwin van der Sar on the on the plane.
I hope he's all right, by the way.
So yeah, again, definite shout. I know we put this on the page, but it sounds like he is somewhat recovering now, which is brilliant. All rivalries aside, I can't begin to tell you, like, just bumping into him on the plane in Amsterdam, and then, you know, talking to him at Istanbul, about the nicest guy you could imagine. Was so nice to me and to my son. You know, having a real chat with us about football and whatever. Just couldn't believe how nice he was. So, geez, absolute best wishes to him and speedy recovery.
And on that note, unless you've got anything else to say, for the first time pre-season, should we say goodbye?
City till we die.
Come on, Blues! Cheers, lads. See you soon.